The other day, I attended an interior design student's portfolio showcase, and I left with one question that I can't stop thinking about. Are students actually designing, or are they prompting AI to design for them? First, let me say this, the portfolio was visually stunning. For a 2-year associate degree program, the level of presentation, the renderings, the material boards, everything looked polished and professional. But as I walked through the room and spoke with students, I started noticing something deeper, a shift not just in the work, but in how design itself is being approached. Hi, if we haven't met, I am Wynn. I am an interior designer and construction project manager with over 16 years of experience. Today, a simple prompt can generate beautiful interior in seconds. Mood boards, renderings, color palettes, all created almost instantly. And while the technology is incredibly powerful, it raises an important question. If the process is driven more by prompts than by creative thinking, then where does creativity actually come from? Now, this is not a criticism of the students. It's more of a reflection of the environment they are learning in. Because if the two are doing most of the visual heavy lifting, are we still training designers? Or are we slowly training prompt engineers? Another thing that stood out to me, none of the students I spoke with plan to transfer to a 4-year university. And as a veteran designer, I started to think we need to ask why. Is it because of the rising cost education and six-figure student debt? Or is it because many students now believe that generating beautiful images means they already know how to design? Because if that's the case, then we may be facing a deeper misunderstanding of what interior design actually is. Right now, many design programs focus heavily on software, visual output, presentation, but much less on problem solving, system thinking, construction knowledge, human behavior, and real-world execution. Because real design is not just about creating something beautiful, it's about solving problems with intention. And if students are not trained to think beyond the image, how will they design spaces that truly function, communicate, and improve people's lives in real world? Because the deeper issue here is this. Interior design is not just the production of beautiful images. Design is thinking. It's the ability to understand problems, interpret human behavior, organize space, and make intentional decisions that improve how people live and experience the built environment. And that kind of thinking cannot come from software alone, because in the real world, projects rarely fail because a space doesn't look beautiful. They fail because the thinking behind the project was weak. Poor planning, unclear scope, budget misalignment, lack of coordination, communication, breakdowns between people, systems, and execution. I've seen this pattern repeatedly throughout my career, and that is where the difference between image generation and real design becomes very clear. AI can generate inspiration, it can produce stunning visuals in seconds. But real world design requires far more than visual output, because a designer is not simply creating images. A designer is making decisions that affect how people move through a space, how a project functions, how teams can communicate, and how problems are solved under pressure. Technology can assist the creative process, but it cannot replace judgment. It cannot replace critical thinking, and it certainly cannot replace leadership, because those are the qualities that truly make someone valuable in this industry. And this is exactly why I created Interior Design and Construction Mastery, not to compete with AI, but to help designers develop the skills that technology cannot replace: critical thinking, problem solving, spatial intelligence, construction understanding, communication, and leadership, because the future of design will not belong only to people who can create beautiful images. It will belong to the people who can think deeply, make sound decisions, lead projects, and turn ideas into real world outcomes. The designer, builder, the strategist, the creative problem solver. That's the gap I believe our industry needs to pay attention to. And that's the gap Interior Design Construction Mastery was built to help fill. Because design is not just about aesthetics, it's about responsibility, it's about understanding how design impacts people, budget, system, construction, and the way we experience everyday life. So if you want to become more than just someone who creates visual, if you want to learn how to think, communicate, and lead like a real world designer builder, then this course is right for you. So click on the link below and learn more about the program. Thank you for hanging out with me today. I will see you in the next video.